Anyway, let's get to it. So I was thinking today that we could try to better knit these this area here better together, because it's quite wonky. It's like in this area it's quite well filled. There just needs to be some gaps filled here and there, but as you can see here, there's a lot to be placed. And what is this? It's just a lot of small businesses making absolutely no sense, and it's a lot of the same ones, which we don't want. So let's just remove all of these. Actually, you know what? We could just use the zoning tool to remove them. Whoops, just like that. And they're going away one by one. It looks like every building of these were zonables. So let's just bulldoze the last ones. Now we're done, and then we have almost freed up this space. So I'm thinking this gotta be quite low level, and something that would be close to a subway depot. Would it be offices? It would make sense to have some offices stretch out before we get to the high rises. So I think we'll fill this square here with offices. Quite low to mid-rise offices. So let's place a few just to get the gist of the height. I don't think we want to go any higher than this. And this office is way too small, so we're going to skip it. Too big, too big, too big, too big. No, too small actually. Too small, too tall. This might work. So keep in mind, we're not actually going to take these buildings and place them where they are currently placed. We're going to find some spaces to them, but that's afterwards. I just want to find the buildings that we can actually use, because it takes quite a lot of time to actually do so. So we're going to do that beforehand. and then we're going to arrange them afterwards. Okay, so I think we're closing in on the number of buildings that I do have in my asset library, which I have downloaded from the Steam Workshop. Yeah, that's the ones. So let's try to arrange them some way that makes sense. Want to kind of gradually build it up to meet these two high-rise offices. So we're going to use this one, put it over here. Then I want to have some space between the buildings because it looks natural, and there's places for parks and parking spaces and paths. So I think maybe we can try to use some buildings and merge them. Together. It doesn't always work, so we gotta try before we decide. But I don't think that worked, so we're going to place it back again, and then we will have a road here. Like this. And then we will put the buildings 2 blocks back because there's going a road here. I mean, I liked how it looked, but the buildings need road access. And if they don't have it, they're going to nag about it forever. Why does it go down? It should not go down. That's okay, we got the move it mod to fix it. I don't get why does it bend like that? It should go straight. from the grid, like this. What's happening here? Why does it... kind of annoying. Okay, let's stretch it all the way out. Not like that. Oh, I know. I know why it does what it does right now. It's because there's a subway line beneath, right? No. Just close. Alright then. Well, we got more offices to place. Actually, let's try not to have two junctions this close to each other, because that's going to create a lot of traffic congestion problems. So what we could do instead is using this off-ramp and on-ramp as a offload. Here, let's use this junction here and elevate it. Sorry if you hear my my keyboard quite loudly. It's I don't have the mic in a microphone arm. I'm just using the stand that came with the box in the Blue Yeti. Because quite frankly, this setup doesn't work at all, really, so I tried to make the best of it. So now we got the offices placed in this one big square, but we're going to break it up. So then we need some more parks, because we have got the we got the parking spaces, so now we need the parks. Like that. I didn't think this through. I mean, what do I even place here? And what is this? Is it water pipe? It's water pipes. It's the friggin' water pipes making problems for me when it comes to the node snapping. Yeah. I should probably have more park assets, because these are just like the nature park life assets. Does not make sense in that city center, mid city center of a city. Okay, so what do we do here? We need to break up this grid. Now they're on line. And then maybe we can make like a path here between the between the offices. I mean, this should have the heavy part against the street like that. Then what do we put here? Should there be like a big A parking lot? Hey, Chelsea K Pollo Nieto. Chelsea K Pollo Nieto? I think, I don't know if that's pronounced the right way, but do you know how to become a YouTuber? I think you are, because you are on YouTube and you have an account, right? Just kidding, but that's the start. Don't care too much about that. I wouldn't know too much about it anyway, but I guess you gotta make a S-ton of videos and material to put out pretty frequently. And I mean, which kind of YouTuber do you want to be? Because there's like a lot of them. There's a lot of more faceted people when you come off the most viewed and the top charts. And quite honestly, I think they are better YouTubers. So yeah, so in retrospect, just in summary, just put a lot of stuff out there, see what people like, interact with your audience, and put up videos frequently. That's exactly all the things I'm not doing. Okay, let's go on. Parking spaces. There's a park here, so now we can have more parking spaces. It might seem like I'm putting out a lot of parking spaces, but well, I am, but it's because this is a kind of American, kind of Japanese city. So there's going to be a lot of traffic, private or public, doesn't really matter. Don't get me wrong, I know the Japanese by far uses a lot more public transport than the Americans, especially in Los Angeles. I know New York is more public, but there's a lot of traffic in both of these places though. Okay, so there should be like a little offset from the buildings. I think just to like make room for the foliage. Also, there should be something here. Could I use like a dirt path like this? Would this be good? Doesn't look too shabby. Oh, come on. I want the blue dot to be in this square here. There. Okay, so this begins to look quite nice, don't you think? Don't care about these clipping buildings here. I'm going to find some way to make it better. It's a process. It takes time, you know. And we need variations. We should not have copies of blocks. I try to imagine that this city has been developed kind of organically. It's an urban sprawl, but it has been an urban sprawl for like quite some time. Bayonetto. Yep, it's working. I just had to check. And that one's also working, but I don't think that's ever going to be used. Oh, I forgot about the GIFs I put on. Yeah, about the super chat. I don't know if this goes against the YouTube community guidelines, but please do not use super chat because YouTube takes quite the portion of the money you are donating. So please go through Twitch and there you'll find a donation link to my PayPal. But don't feel pressured into giving anything because the content I'm streaming right now isn't exactly top notch. It's more like a cozy stream. Taking one's time. Should I maybe just let it clip? I mean, it kind of fits on both sides as well. You know what? I think I'll keep it like that, and then we go to the next building, which could be what's presented as the community center. And let's place this here in the meantime. Okay, so it's quite clear that this needs to face the road, at least one of the sides, and I think it's looks like the same size at both sides, so I'm going to put it here. Actually, wait, let me try. No, okay, that's never going to work. So it's quite I'm not used to both talking and playing, so it takes some CPU power for my brain, so to speak. But I see quite clearly now that there should be definitely a park area in front of this community college. maybe we could use some tiles here. Isn't there bigger tiles? I don't want to place like a lot of these. Also the prop count takes some resources. I think it's 50,000 props you can place. So it's not too much when you are using all 9 tiles. And you detail like quite a lot. It's not as much as it sounds really, especially when you place trees. But I think the trees has a different count. I don't think trees count as props. Okay, so this cannot be. This has to be in. Oh, that was the wrong button. Oh, Tish, where did I put the Citibank? So what I was going to say is that this Citibank needs to be at the corner, because it's designed that way, and it's quite clear when it's like along a straight perpendicular road. Is that the right word, or is it 90 degrees perpendicular? It's quite clear that it doesn't belong there anyway. So let's take it away, because it's a little bit tall anyway. Place this icebox here as a kind of buffer. Remove it again, try with another building. I think these are too close to each other. That's better. Let's try this. The Cancer Research Center. Let's not have the trash against the outer streets. Let's keep it in the quadrant. Ooh, half an hour already. Time flies when you're playing City Skylines. Okay. I really did not think this through. Because what? Okay, let's focus on the campus of the college. We could have a public transport road here. Just for the buses. Going like this. And should it then go back again? Because I'm worrying that this potential junction is going to be quite close to this junction, and that's going to create congestion. Congestion. It's English. It's not my first language. And that's quite a steep curve. Sharp turn. Okay, hold on, I got to sneeze. And there, I do not have to sneeze, it just went away. That's better. And remove this bush. I mean, what even would make sense to have here? I can't find the tiles I'm using. It's quite annoying. These are so small. Yeah, there it is. So I was thinking using this basically on the whole lot of the icebox. Let's align it. And copy. And place it. Don't worry, it's not going to be like this. We're going to move them around afterwards. With I keep forgetting the names of the buttons. It's not going to be perfect, but it's okay. We're just going to rotate some tiles for the sake of diversity, because it's going to look very repetitive if we have them all the same direction. Like that. It's going to look better, but we need to choose all of them and take them a bit out of the road. Like this. And let's just build a fence, and then let's say we're done, because we're going to eat soon. Let's just place the fence there. So there's quite a narrow path for the ones working at this office, but on the other hand, they got their very own path on the other side of the building, which these guys don't get access to because they have to go to the other side of this building. But if you watch this, it looks quite better than what we started with now, right, doesn't it? Yeah, no. It really does. So let's just watch it. And keep in mind that we need space, and if you are like me and don't like empty spaces between buildings, you can use parks and paths. Especially parks, because they are raising the land value around. Spaces like these, we will see what we are going to do, because using foliage as camouflage, it gets quite obvious that you've done it quite fast, so you want to make sure that you have something that makes sense to have close to offices, such as metro lines, bus depots, in general public transport, well, transport at all really. Try to avoid truck stops. Taxis would make sense. Maybe not at a community college, but maybe next to, say, an office. There's a taxi stand would make the cut. So I'm thinking maybe we should put a fence, because it makes the full, it looks better. It looks like there's been done some work on it. Ugh, there's so many nodes and road guidelines, so you never know if there's any nodes that you do want to hit or click on. Luckily there was right now. Yeah, that looks good. At least it looks way better than it did before. Maybe we even could kind of divide these parking lots. No, that just looks strange. So keep in mind that around trees there's not only trees, and you see these trees already varies in colors and size, but you should also vary the species around, because nature's organic and you need that variation to make stuff look more natural than it does right now. So put on some stones, don't think too much where you're putting them, or else it's going to look like they're being put there deliberately, which of course they are, but it's going to be quite obvious if you do it. So now what would we see on an office pathway? Construction props? No, not really. I'm thinking maybe like these what do you call it? It's like pavilion. That's what it's called. Pavilion benches. Shed? No. Would you watch trash? You would not. A cabana. Nah. This is the size of the tiles I would want to use if I knew some tiles I liked. I don't know where these tiles came from. It's probably a prop dependency. I mean, it is an office park, but you wouldn't see pallets of office supplies on a pathway. Let's place them at the entrance anyway, because that's more like it. What was that? No, I thought that was like a more like a park bench. I mean, I would expect to find them here, but I didn't, so maybe I didn't scroll enough. Or maybe it's not a downloaded asset. Maybe it's a vanilla asset that comes with the official game. That's more like it. Okay, so let's just place the last props and then we'll say goodbye for this day. If you ever get to scroll to the benches, that is. Fina effing Lee. Sorry, just got a little bit carried away when I finally found them. Okay, so keep in mind where you would place the benches, because you wouldn't place them so you see the whole parking lot, would you? If you wanted to look at the cars, then you would go to look at the cars and not sit on the bench. So let's place one bench here. And then again, you don't want to watch the big office building. You want to watch the trees. And let's place this bench here just to break up the vast space with nothing. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Maybe if we found some trash bins, we could use them. Next to the benches. but a little bit away so it doesn't smell that strongly. Because I've experienced that when I sit in the bus shelter and there's some smelly trash. Okay, so let's look at this. This is what we built. Looking quite nice, alright. At least it does look quite better than it did in the start when there was just buildings all around here. For the ones of you who's extremely awake, you would probably see that this half of this big quadrant isn't half finished, or rather, that's exactly what it is, and we're probably going to continue that in the next episode of this City Skylines stream.